Will the lights stay on in Switzerland come the winter? This is the question worrying many in the country. The federal government has never been prone to dramatics, but it has already advised the Swiss to reduce their energy consumption to avoid shortages.
The Federal Council has therefore decided today that Switzerland must set a voluntary savings target of 15% for gas during the winter months, just as EU countries have agreed. The reason why we are doing this is because we are completely dependent on imports from abroad for our gas.
The impact of Russia's invasion of Ukraine has exposed the weaknesses of the Swiss energy system. More than 60% of the Swiss model is based on hydroelectric energy produced by its dams. But in the winter, this is not enough to meet the demand.
We depend on the European network for about 30% of capacities. Our main suppliers are the Germans and the French, and that's why we're having a bit of trouble this winter. What we imported from Germany won't be available. The 10% from Germans won't be available, so we have a problem. And the other problem is on the French side, because half of their nuclear grid is shut down.
Switzerland cannot cover this shortfall with its own nuclear power plants. Only 4 are still in operation, and they rank among the oldest in Europe. So the country is banking on a new generation of hydroelectric plants. In the Mont Blanc mountain range, between the 2 Emerson reservoirs, the Nom de Drance power station lies hidden 600 meters under the rock, and will be opened in September after 14 years of work. The power station can pump water between the reservoirs to produce energy on demand, unlike a conventional dam which, once emptied, produces nothing.
When there is too much electricity on the grid, we use this excess energy to pump and store water in the upper dam, and when there is a need for energy on the grid during the daily peaks, in the morning or in the evening for example, then we let the water flow to the lower dam through the turbines.
Reaching the station is no easy feat, involving a journey through no less than 17 kilometers of rock. Inside the plant, these huge 7-meter diameter pipes can empty the upper lake in 20 hours. And produce 900 megawatts of electricity thanks to 6 turbines like this one.
There are 2 major advantages of this power station. The first is that it acts as a large battery, which allows us to store energy in the short term, and the second is the flexibility that will allow us to support the Swiss electricity network. In the event of a problem with the network, a power station like Nom de Drance is capable of producing hundreds of megawatts in a few minutes.
Despite the dam's timely completion, many non-governmental organizations denounce the pace at which Switzerland is developing renewable energy.
We have probably relied too much on this energy by seeking to produce more electricity with dams, and we have fallen behind enormously and probably more than our neighbors on other energies such as solar, which is partially a result of how small the country is, but we have other solutions which must now be developed.
The solar electricity produced in Switzerland represents barely 5% of its demand. As for wind turbines, there are only about 40 in the country, as here in the Swiss Jura. According to some experts, if the government is to achieve its 2050 energy strategy commitments, 750 wind turbines need to be built, and solar panels should be installed on 1/3 of all roofs.